just came out of the shower. All I did was my eyebrows. So, you know, there's an improvement from the last video. And my eyebrows are the one thing I'm most self-conscious about, because when I don't do them, they're like not even there. And it's like Jeffree Star, you know, he was doing that thing for all those years. It doesn't look good. Anyway, I wanted to talk about burning the house down. And I'm leaning against this wall and it's creaking. I don't like that. Basically, I used to, for years and years, I would tell my brothers that this house needs to be burned down. Like, it needs to be burned down. Someone's got to burn down this house, because no one's buying this house. If they buy this house, they're going to tear it down immediately, because this house, this is not for human occupancy. Like, not even for a hamster. That's how dirty this house is. Like, when I walk outside, I wipe my feet before walking outside so that I don't get the outside dirty. Do you understand that? That's how dirty this place is. I have to, like, and I keep my shoes on in the house so that my feet stay clean. That's how dirty these floors are. And, you know, along with being, you know, first few days you're nose blind, but, you know, you get used to it, and then you forget that it smells like shit in here, like cat shit and other things. So eventually I get like, oh, it's not that bad, and I take off my shoes, and my socks are so, like, clean socks. One walk around, so dirty. So I take off, like, the space right in front of my bed, that's where I leave my shoes, my socks. I have no socks on the bed. That's disgusting. Anyway, so I would tell my brothers year after year, this place needs to be burned down. Like, that's the only option. There's no other fixing this place for how bad it's become. And then a few years ago, one of my brothers was diagnosed with schizophrenia, so I was like, oh, maybe I should stop telling him to burn down the house. Not because I don't think he would actually do it, but because I don't think he would consider my parents before he does it. So what I mean is, like, if someone's gonna burn the house down, if anybody's gonna do that, I would like them to consider, you know, be aware to get my parents out first and then burn it down, you know? And I don't think he has the capacity or the wherewithal to consider that. So anyway, I stopped mentioning that. I was gonna talk about something else too. But yeah. And I wanted to say something else. Like, I'm like trying to figure out what this channel is about. I didn't want to label it as hoarders only, like that type of you know, very niche channel, because I have ADD, and anytime I try to compartmentalize something, you know, it never works. It always, like, it has to be general. If it's not general, it won't work for me. I'll just forget about it and ignore it. So it's just gonna be about me learning to express myself and say the things I'm angry about, because I don't know how to do that. And like I said, I watched a lot of videos of Jasmine Masters, and she's very good at expressing her anger. And I think it must be so cathartic to do that and get that off your chest. So I'm going to practice doing that too. But I want it, so, like, this channel is going to be, like, about my anger, I guess mostly around the things that make me most angry, which is, you know, the hoarding, the disabilities that are in my family, how they treat themselves, also, like, the frustration of having ADD, and, like, I used to have depression, like clinically depressed for sure. But like 2 years after moving out of here, I was finally able to get off my medication and like feel normal again. Because you can't live here and feel normal. That's not possible. But I also don't want to like exaggerate my ADD and like spin it into something, because I've seen plenty of videos. I think it's like mainly Tourette's that gets like overhyped, and like people are called like posers, like they're hyping it up for the views. And I don't want it to be that, because when I was diagnosed, she told me like it's like really mild, like almost not there. So, but I feel like when I've been talking, it's been like exaggerated, and I don't know if that's because I never talk, and so when it's in my head it feels coherent more so than when I speak out loud, because like in my head there's like, it's like a bunch of clouds, and each cloud is a different thing, and I could look at the clouds all at once. I can look at like, oh, that's, yeah, I like that, I'm going back to that, yeah, that looks good, and they're just always there permanently. But when you're speaking verbally, it's like one line of thought. It has to be one line of thought. So to me, I'm like, why is this really how I think, you know? So, but also it might be because I'm talking to a camera, and like, you know, just not having done that before, that's like making me feel more scatterbrained. I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping like with practice, you know, my thoughts will be a little more coherent at least, because I definitely don't want to spin this into anything, and like make it something it's not. Like, I know I've been around a few people who have like really severe ADD, no, ADHD, at least 2, and so I'm definitely, that's not me, you know. I'm trying to figure out where to take this conversation, or this monologue, because I could take it 2 directions. I guess, okay, I was gonna say something, but something else is on my mind now. I went through K through 12th grade, right? And then community college, 3 years of that. And I didn't realize I had never like read a textbook, you know. English was fine, like literature, stories, that was fine, I could read them. Well, it was weird how I read them. I would always skip the first chapter and then go straight to the second chapter, and then maybe the third, it depended. Like I had to feel like I could care about the story before I went back to the first chapter, because anytime I started a new book, the first chapter, I'm like, what is going on? Who are these people? Like, that's where they introduce the names, the characters, descriptions, and all that, and I'm like, who are these people? I don't care about these people. So then I would skim that and then go to the next page, or next chapter, and be like, oh, that's who they are. Okay, I should learn who's who and who's, like, what are they doing? Why are they doing this? And then I go back to the first chapter, and I'm like, okay, now I understand the story. But yeah, that was, you know, literature books for English class and stuff. But textbooks, I never read a textbook. I don't know how I did it. This is turning into a whole thing that I didn't mean for it to turn into. Basically, when I was diagnosed with ADD in like 2013, like right after I graduated high school, they eventually put me on Adderall. No. I was on trial drugs first, because they didn't want to put me on Adderall, because I don't know, they don't like that, because it's you can abuse it. So they were trying other things. But anyway, community college, I also didn't read textbook. And then I did university, and I was there for 3 years, I think, 2016 through 2019. And only in the last quarter or trimester, I don't remember what my school was, did I take Adderall. And that's when I read a textbook for the first time. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you're actually supposed to read this stuff. You're not supposed to just skim and look for keywords, you know? Like, in university, I was, for my major, I was supposed to take quantum mechanics, and I took it twice, because the first time, like, it's, like, you know, they basically just hand you the book. And I thought, wow, that's a cool book, it has a cat on it. It's Schrodinger's cat. And it's purple, I don't know, I liked it. And I would, like, look at the pages, and I'd be like, wow, this is so cool, like, equations and shit, like, I got this. I failed the class. And I was like, why did I fail? Like, I like the subject matter, and I understand, like, the questions, or the equations, like, I get it when it's explained to me. But then I took it again with Adderall, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you're actually supposed to read this book. Like, this book has all the answers on the test. I didn't know that. And so if I could go back and do high school all over again, I would definitely want to be on Adderall, because I didn't read any of those textbooks. And I was like, why am I flunking these classes? It's because I didn't read the book. But let me clarify that. Because I was one of the gifted and talented students. I wasn't valedictorian, I wasn't salutatorian, I wasn't high honors. I was just, you know, high honors. And I wonder how much more I could have been if I had actually been reading the books. Because, like, they were encouraging. I just went along with my friends, and they were doing AP classes. And so I did AP classes. I didn't like it, because it's mostly, oh, here's the book, and you learn it on your own. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, I don't understand this. And there was something else. Anyway, you know, I mentioned, like, I wasn't supposed to take it this direction, but this came up, and my thought isn't done, but now I'm remembering the other direction I wanted to take it. Is like, ADHD is like the fun part, and ADD is like everything but the fun part. And I think, like, you know, XQC, he has ADHD. He's really fun, you know, bordering on annoying. You know, I wouldn't want to be around that personality all the time. I wouldn't want to live with that. Family friend, whatever. But it's fun. A lot of it's fun. It's exciting. I get it. But ADD, it's like just confusion. But one creator that I follow, kinda, is Kiboga, and I'm pretty sure he's mentioned, like, I have ADD. Like, he said that. And if not, then I'm just imagining that he does, because, like, when I've seen him live stream, I'm like, that's exactly how I think. Like, that stream of consciousness, like, how it's, like, all over the place. I relate to that, so I feel like he must have ADD, but I'm pretty sure he said it. I forgot why I was saying this, but I'm gonna assume why I'm saying this is because, going back to why am I making these videos? Like, this is never gonna be as polished as I want it to be. But I hope to, with practice, like, over time, this will be more polished. But like I'm doing this because I'm inspired by what I've seen Jasmine Masters do. But again, another thing, like, there's, like, she's no, like, creative genius, okay? Like, she films portrait mode, and then she puts her videos landscape, and then, like, she'll like be this far down in the frame, right? So she's, you know, she's not a millennial. She's a lot older than me. So, you know, technology is not their strong suit. It's very obvious. But she still gets the point across and it's still entertaining. You know, what she says is like, my lips are all chapped. What she says is, like the complex carbs. Like, it's like a lot for your brain to digest. But then she's dressed up and she looks really nice to look at. And that's like the dopamine that I get. I'm doing this, like, my brain is like munching on like sugar, like something like sweets or a snack. So it's like a full course meal, you know? And I don't have that yet, but I definitely hope, like, in the future, if I practice this enough, I'll dress up too and, you know, put more effort into my appearance. But it's like with ADD, it's like the more I plan it out, the more it's not gonna happen. Like, I have a gaming channel, and but it's just a whatever channel. It's like my Twitch channel on YouTube, and I was hyping up like, oh, I'm gonna spend 6 months watching all the anime I could possibly watch and then reviewing it, because I did it the first time and I enjoyed it, and I watched like, I don't know, 12, 21 anime. I don't know, I don't remember. And then I did the stream and I'm like, oh, that was great, I want to do another one. And people were giving me suggestions for anime to watch that I missed the first time. So I watched anime. I don't know how many thousands of hours I watched. I think it was like 40 anime. I don't remember. And I kept promising, like, oh, I'm gonna do a December stream because it's gonna be 6-month mark. And it's January 2nd. I haven't done it because I have poor time management. Okay, a lot of ADD is poor time management because you get distracted, and I don't know. And I kept planning it out, like besides like actually doing it, I was like, oh, I want to put this in the video to make it more entertaining when I live stream. Like, I don't want to just talk. I want to have like the thumbnails of the videos I'm referencing. I want to have like the clips ready, which is difficult to do because Crunchyroll is got that lockdown. Like, you can't take screenshots or recordings or anything like that. So I was gonna use my phone camera and like film the screen and like get that like frame rate choppy lighting thing. But I watched like 40 animes, and if I'm gonna talk about more than one scene in all 40 animes, that's like 80 clips. And so I was like, you know, when am I gonna do that? I have a full-time job, I can't do that. So yeah, so I can't, like, if I don't do it now, it's not gonna happen, you know, that sort of thing. So, and you know, I'm not in my 20s anymore, so I don't really care, as definitely nowhere near as much as I did in my 20s, like how I look. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, what you see is what you get. I'm not always looking like this. I don't care. And, you know, kids are gonna judge. That's what they do. They don't have enough life experience. You know, whatever. So I think I'm at a good point in my life to just do the thing, you know, do the damn thing. Regardless if I don't feel like I'm prepared to do it. You know, it'd be nice to make these videos with like a itinerary checklist in mind. Like, I want to cover this topic, right? But if I have to take the time to sit down and write that, it's not gonna happen, you know? It's not gonna happen. So I want to like, you know, I want to learn to speak my mind and do it as cohesively as Jasmine Masters does it. And that is my goal. That is my goal. That's my selfish goal. The goal for having people watch it is hopefully something is relatable. Because if it's not relatable, then nobody's gonna watch it. So it's a twofold goal: the selfish part and then the giving back part. So eventually I hope to master both of those themes or whatever, and then make, you know, because that means I'm making quality content. So yeah, about these lips, I've always dealt with like sensitive lips. I've changed my shampoo, no sulfates. I've changed my toothpaste. It's the Hello Fresh toothpaste, so there's no sulfates in that. Body wash, no sulfates. So I don't know what else to do. So I have this, I'll just show you. Where is it? Is it in here? No. I'm at my parents' house right now, so I've got travel bags for everything. Okay, I'm gonna show you two things. Two tools that I use every day. That's not true. Almost every day. That's not true either. But these are tools that I think are essential. Okay. Hold on. Still. Alright. These are some sort of very fine tweezers. I have a hard time finding these. I usually can find them at Marshall's, but it's in a whole set, and I'll buy the whole set only to get these. I think these are, it's like advertises like acne, you know, solutions. So it's got all sorts of tools for picking at your face, and then these, and I use these to pick off the outer skin of my lips, because if I use my fingers, it takes off too much skin and then my lips bleed. But if I use these, there's no bleeding, and it turns out way better, you know, and it doesn't hurt. Whereas when I use my fingers, it hurts. The other tool, now that I'm here, I'm examining to make sure it's not gross looking. This is the Cleanere, ClineRe, I think, tool. It's supposed to be for your ears, like an alternative for Q-tips, but I don't use it for that. I use it to scrape my tongue, because for some reason my tongue is super sticky, and I'll brush my teeth all the time. That's not true. I brush my teeth at least once a day, sometimes twice when I'm feeling good. But it doesn't matter if I brush my teeth, because that's not where the smell comes from. It's from my tongue. And I'll like brush my tongue with the toothbrush, and it doesn't do anything. But then I scrape all the gunk off with this, and it looks normal again. And that's like my other insecurity. The first is my eyebrows, like my natural eyebrows, ain't it? And then the second is bad breath, because my tongue is so sticky. Like, it's so weird. Like, nobody else I know, my friends, like, they don't have this problem. My high school friends that I used to know, like, when we would go on trips or camping or whatever, nobody was dealing with their tongue scraping. And when they would talk, I was like, wow, their tongue looks pink, and we've been camping all day, so I know they haven't brushed their teeth. So I don't know, it's just genetics or something. Like, everything sticks to my tongue. It's really gross. But it's nice being no longer in my 20s, because again, like as soon as I turned 25, like, my thoughts started to change and like solidify, and I stopped, like, the trend of caring went down, and then the trend of like, I want to be comfortable went up, you know? So I don't care. I'll do this at the airport, in the airport bathroom. I don't care. It would be nice if nobody was there, and like, so they didn't have to see that I was like scraping my tongue, because it doesn't look good to do that. But I'll do it. I don't care. I'll brush my teeth in the airport. I don't care. I want to feel comfortable, because it doesn't feel comfortable having a dirty tongue like that. I'm gonna stop the video now and go blow dry my hair.